a few weeks ago when he won his first tournament. It was kind of like, oh, that's cute.
Yep.
And now it's like, ooh, maybe it's a little
And
more than
those,
just.
well, the downpour and the conditions of the greens. I mean, you know,
Wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy.
She doesn't even go here.
Who's coming with me besides Flipper? Here. Hashtag Grr Mondays.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
When you want to talk sports, you ask folks who have seen it all up close. So on The Al Travis Show, we go with the guys at the end of the bench. Time to talk all things sports.
And we will talk all things sports. I will lay it out here early on, first moments of the program today. I appreciate John and Dan coming on, and we'll talk sports. This program today, I've decided to let go as it goes. Yes, you are my sports guys. We'll get to some sports I trust. But if we don't today, because the conversation goes to what happened this weekend, we're going to let that go. All my regular guests are coming up, but as John and Dan know, John Hoffman, Senator Hoffman, has been a regular on this program almost as long as you guys. He comes on about an hour after you guys, and a great friend of the program. I call him a dear friend of mine, and I say that we have gone out to dinner. We've golfed, we smoked cigars, and really that's all you need to be is one of my best friends right there. And he come on the show all the time. It was a tough weekend, I think, for everybody in Minnesota. It was the conversation. It was all. I will start with you guys, and maybe John, if you don't want to start with you. When and how did your weekend go around all this stuff that happened this weekend with the shootings and the deaths and all the rest? Where were you, and how did you find out, and what are your thoughts?
well, I first found out Saturday morning.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of a bit of a news junkie. So one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning is look at news and sports, of course, but I'm looking at the whole thing and I was just shocked. Yeah. You know, and it cast a shadow over the whole weekend. It really did.
Can I ask you what news sources do you get yours from? You get the paper online or something? Is it that? Is it X? Is the Facebook? Where did you get your news? You're shaking your head.
Online. I get the print paper on the weekends just because, you know, there's extra stuff to read. But and I look at multiple sources. British, Canadian, CNN, Star Tribune, BBC, that kind of stuff. And it was, you know, at first you see it, and you're kind of shocked, and you're like, what is this? What happened? Somebody went in and shot him. And then you hear the details and realize there was a list.
Yeah.
And this was potentially the start of a I don't know what you want to call it, a
mass shooting. Yeah.
And it's almost unimaginable. And this is a tired cliche. You see this stuff happen everywhere. Everywhere else, you never think it'll happen here, but here it is, right in our backyard.
See, I think there's something to that. Dan, just kind of recap how you found out, when you found out, thoughts on it. Go ahead.
Well, I'll be out there. This is. I promise you, I will not get political because that's completely
at some point we have to.
This is completely irrelevant to this, but
at some point we will get there. Yes,
but that's how I found out. Was I was attending the protest in Anoka, and got the notice that it's been canceled. But the weather isn't that bad. And I look and then I look up the site. It's like, oh dear God. But then then it's bring me the news. I like going to the local independent folks. That's awful. It's unimaginable, and it's right. Since I live in this area, I mean, I go through Champlin, Brooklyn Park almost daily. My wife works in Champlin, in Champlin, right in that border. So she works just a mile or so away from Melissa's home, so yeah, it's terrifying. And then that's just so really we really weren't that far off of the of the shelter in place location, and so it really is hitting a lot of the people up in this part of the cities where, because you think of like we're safe here. Yeah, we're safe here. Yeah.
See, not to get political, but it has to be political. These are two political people and their spouses who are attacked. I don't care where the guy falls politically, where he's at, but it's going to be politics in it. And what I mean by that is very early on, I have a lot of friends in the world, and I want to say it was 5:30, maybe it was 5:45 in the morning. I'd gotten a text from somebody saying, "Have you seen this?" And this is where I wondered where you got your info. It's called Crime Watch Minnesota. Give them a little plug on X. Local Minnesota, I don't know, who done it, people out of Minneapolis. I don't know these people, but they were on it like minutes after. I mean, you got to be having a flipping cop, what do you call it, thing where you listen to the cop radar.
Yeah, the
scanner. Had to have been that. They said, this is not confirmed, but this is what we're hearing. And so then I start following that, obviously, because they were on top of it. And literally, they were there 10, 15 minutes before the next thing would come. I started texting some, obviously, friends of the program that are on here and friends, and very quickly, and I give shout out to the police officers of the world, they were putting police officers in people's driveways and saying, oh, what's something here? So that spread very quickly, which is good. And we'll find out more as it goes, but as the story goes, someone calls because of the shots at Hoffman's house. Cops get there, and they go, yeah, as I understand it, Brooklyn Center cop was there to help and said, wait, Hortman's just, 5 miles down the road. And they went and checked. And in reality, you thank God that guy was that smart, that intuitive, got there, because otherwise this guy would have had his car and truck and still running all over who knows where next. In a lot of ways, we got lucky, but obviously not every,
Right. Yeah.
Sounds bad.
I'd say this. Yeah. I mean, there is some good that comes from it. So thank God that that this cop was able to very likely save a couple of people's lives.
Well, yeah, because you don't know where he was heading next. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Right.
It's horrific regardless, but yeah, I mean, there's still, that's man, I cannot say enough for the actions here.
And then, of course, the news is all weekend long, and they caught the wife, but the wife is let go, and and of course, everyone's speculating. I guess what bothered me the most, I didn't put anything on Twitter or Facebook. I did not. Oh, did you hear he's a right-wing guy? Oh, did you hear he worked for Walz's something or other? Well, and then it's like, people, can we get through the weekend? Now, I do thank God that on Sunday night, just before I went to bed, you saw, hey, he got arrested. And then I stayed up a little later to watch the video that he got arrested. Well done again, cops. If you wanted to and you're running out in the cornfields of Minnesota, guess what? Hard to find a guy. And they did it. I got to give him street cred. I thought it was weird that he could get out of Brooklyn Park, on foot, but they caught him. And I don't know how in the world to get to Green Isle. We'll find all that out. But I was, the fact they caught him down there, good job, guys or gals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so bookend of the weekend. But just off of curiosity, and we'll go to break. We'll talk sports on the other side. What happens from here now? Just emotionally with the state of Minnesota. I'm sitting here, a friend was saying, maybe they got to have police escorts with them at all times. Well, I think we got the nut job. I think we got the nut job. I don't think everyone is not less safe than they were 2 weeks ago, but the nut job's gone.
Yeah, you can't live in fear, okay? Because then you're giving up all your freedoms and all the things we enjoy, right? I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's not saying we should forget about it and move on, because we should not forget. Yeah. Okay, there's lessons to be learned here. But I hurt inside because I know this will not be the last time this sort of thing happens. Yeah. Not that it will happen here.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen.
Isn't that one of those things, Dan? We see this all the time. And you're watching, oh, look what happened in Philadelphia or whatever happened there. And you're like, oh, thank those guys. I'd never lived there. It happened in our backyard. It's just a different, unsettling feeling. If this had Phoenix, Arizona on it, I'd be interested. I'd look at it and like, well, that sucks. But it's a whole feeling going on today. And I don't like describing my feelings, but there's a thing there, Dan.
Absolutely. And that's
good.
I was just going to say, I've got to, my perspective is that, we have to look at, to me, there's two sides on this, and it's not the ones you might think. It's violence is okay to solve problems, and violence is never okay to solve problems. And I think it's kind of like, we got to choose. We just have to choose. So I think as a society, we just have to make sure that we are definitely making that choice very clear.
We're going to shorten up the sports time because I love that conversation. I'm going to do this with John as well. John, it's as much the politicians' fault, and I would go on both sides. Everybody, Trump says really mean, wild things. The governor says, they're, what a Nazi Gestapo. I think politicians can help a lot in this if they all decide, and rip on them why they're in terrible shape, decide we stop that rhetoric. We stop using words of Nazi Germany or what we get. Just, you know what? I disagree with you on this one, guy, but let's go have a drink. If we get into that, John, am I crazy?
No, there has to be a sense of decorum, a sense of respect. Okay, yeah. Whoever you are, you were elected by the people of your district, your state, whatever it is, to represent them, and you earn something because of that. Okay, and like you say, Al, people may not like each other. I mean, you and I use you as a positive example all the time, Al. We're on opposite sides, but that doesn't stop us from having discussions. It doesn't stop us from having shared and being friends.
Yeah.
I should tell you this, John. I should tell you this in front of everyone. I get up every day and go to vote every time there's a vote just to cancel you out. That is my goal. I realize my civic duty is to make sure I vote because John will vote, and that's my whole goal in life. But and we're friends. We'll smoke a cigar. We'll have a beverage. Yes.
But I've lost friends over the type of rhetoric because, and I was defending a friend this weekend who was making a point about something, and he didn't use any names, and somebody else decided to go in all this name calling stuff of him, and I said, wait a minute here. I said, so-and-so didn't do this. He's just pointing this out. Why are you dragging the conversation down? But that's what it's become.
Yeah, we're going to get a little history.
And you call somebody a name.
You guys remember the year, probably I won't. This is not new. And we think it's now the rhetoric and all this is horrible. I don't remember the guy's name who shot Reagan. Was it 86, something like that? I don't remember.
Hinckley.
Okay. So we've had crazy people doing crazy things in America. I don't think the rhetoric was as heated right then and there. I mean, people had sides, but we have crazy people. I'm just saying when our own politicians use terms like that, crazy people get crazier. Just a feeling.
But we all came around President Reagan.
No, absolutely correct. Because
everybody came around. And
who was his Speaker of the House? They got along. O'Neill? Tip O'Neill.
I mean, talk about diametrically opposed.
Exactly. Yeah. And then he gets shot, and like you say, the world came together. I'm hoping that sort of stuff can happen here in Minnesota. I don't know if the Twitter box was going off with conspiracy theories. I hate that stuff. I got to go to break. At some point, the guys at the end of the bench are going to have to talk a little sports. Can we do it on the other side? I appreciate you guys unwinding this. I don't know where this show's going to go today, but I appreciate you starting it out this way. John and Dan, guys at the end of the bench, talking sports. Right after this.
All the special interests are represented in St. Paul. But who speaks for you? Center of the American Experiment does. Our policy fellows dig into the tough issues that matter to you and offer common sense solutions on education, taxes, crime, and energy. American Experiment is the trusted, nonpartisan voice of Minnesotans like you. We are working every day to make Minnesota a better, safer, more prosperous place. We are American Experiment. Go to americanexperiment.org to learn more.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
amongst friends. The Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
I think in the commercial break, I find out exactly why John and I can be friends. I called him a liberal freak on my text, and he just laughed back at you. How do I put it? That should be the norm. I should be able to rip my liberal freak friend as being a legal freak, and he goes, okay, yeah, you freaking right-wing knuckle. And let it be at that. John's laughing, I'm laughing. I'm like, it's okay to be different. Just let's get over this. Okay. We got to talk some sports. It is a radio show. NBA, let's leave that for Friday. It is tied up 2 apiece now between the Pacers and the Thunder. I got to be honest. I thought the Pacers were going to win that 3/4 of the way through. Then SGA jumps in and says, oh, no, forget me. I'm the MVP. They win it. 2 out of 3 to go. I'll just ask you your predictions. 2 out of 3. Who wins it? We're now to a 7-game series. I mean,
I think that was Indiana's chance last night,
yeah.
and I think it's done now. I think that's
right.
So yeah.
They play this evening. I swear I'm going to be watching, take my mind off of everything else. So that'll be at least something to do. This is the team. And I know you guys have drank the juice here. See, this is the other way we can get along. I'm a realist and you guys are fantasy lovers. Your Minnesota Twins get swept over the weekend. Who were they playing now? Where's my notes? You guys know. Anyway, Houston. They have now lost 4 in a row. Are they out? It's done, isn't it? Is the season over? I mean, jumping off the band. Don't shake your head. It's radio. What are you talking, John?
No, it's not.
I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt you on the air. Come on.
They got swept. This is a tough set of series. We've lost 4 in a row. Only I'll throw you a bone. You look at the American League Central. Detroit's lost 2 in a row. We lost 4 in a row. Cleveland's lost 3 in a row. Yeah. Kansas City 6 in a row. And Chicago 5 in a row. That's how you stay relevant.
For me,
We were just talking last week. This is the creme de la creme of the entire league, the division. And now look at us. Dan, tell me where I'm wrong.
Not so much. Yeah, you're wrong because it's baseball. It's a long season. I know all the cliches, but this is the same team that won 13 in a row. They won 13 in a row or whatever it was. And
is this the same team that started like 0-9 too? Come on, John.
Yes,
or Dan.
That's what I'm saying. It's it's both, but it's gonna we're gonna see the ebbs and flows. And they are a shell of themselves right now on the starting pitching end. I mean that's now injuries will happen, so you have to be prepared. The Twins actually came into the season with a lot of starting pitching depth.
Give me 1 minute, John. Give me 1 minute, John. I want Dan to take 30 seconds at the end to throw out when the play is, and I want to get a pitch out for that before we go because we only got a week. What do you got, John? You're on this bandwagon yet? You have no problems.
Well, sure I am. I'm even wearing my hat. Yeah, Dan said you could say it's cliched, but he's right. It's a season, and it's a longer season and more games than any other professional sport. Right. So you can weather a 3-day loss to a good team. Okay. And Houston is still good. I think they're down from what they were, but they're still good. I was encouraged by the last couple of games with the pitching performances. Bullpen aside, they kind of yacked in a couple of those games, but Ryan did exactly what he needed to do in that situation. Right. Come in, be a stopper, reset things. It was unfortunate we lost that one. Okay. Simeon did good yesterday for only 5 innings, but one of his better performances.
We're out of time because we talked a lot of time. I thank both of you people for being on the show and being the first guest today because I did not know how this show was going to move along, but we're going to let God take care of it. We're just going to roll along. Dan, give it to me because we only have this and Friday show to talk about it, the play. When and where?
Absolutely. Once Upon a Mattress. Maple, it's so cross community players, Maple Grove, Town Greens, Bandshell area. They're outdoor auditorium, so come out to the beautiful outdoors. And tickets at crossplayers.org. Crossplayers.org.
I saw some photos of you guys at practice. You got to keep that Kings outfit, man. You look good in that bad boy, and you can hit the Renaissance. You look, you look good. All right, we're out of time. Back with the guys at the end of the bench on Friday.